Hi, I'm Toby Monroe,
And I'm Harmony Monroe.
and we would like to welcome you to Dance Vision's presentation of Country Western Waltz at the bronze level. We're looking forward to getting started, so grab your dance shoes, find a little space on your floor, and let's begin. Before we begin learning any patterns, there's a few things we need to understand about our body and about how we move through space and how we connect with our partner. So gentlemen, we're going to take a look at some of our parts first. First thing we'd like you to do is find a nice tall posture. So we're going to shift our weight back and forth and find your weight towards the front of your feet or the balls of your feet. We're going to tuck your pelvis down. We're going to stretch your shoulders up and back and your head back. At this point, you want to think about closing the front of your rib cage and really widening or opening your back. So we're going to feel that from behind, we're opening our back, we're closing our front. Now when we close our front, it's important we don't let the shoulders fall forward and hunch. We're widening the shoulders, closing the front of the rib cage. We're going to shift that weight back and forth again so you can feel different parts of your feet shifting to your heels and to the balls of your feet. We're going to need to be able to shift our weight through space very efficiently today. So we're working on our posture, hips are dropped towards the floor, back is wide, rib cage is closed, and the head is pulled up and backward to create a long, tall posture. From here, the first thing we want to do is just soften our knees a little bit, and we're going to practice just moving. So we're going to practice pushing with our right foot, and we're going to divide our legs. We're going to divide that left leg out. So as we press into the right foot, we divide the left leg out, and we're going to, from here, pull in with the left leg to collect the right. Let's do that again on the other leg. We're going to practice dividing, so you're going to feel your weight moving to the floor, you're opening the legs, and from here we're going to pull that front leg to bring the back leg in. Let's try it in reverse. So going backward, gentlemen, let's go with your left foot. We're going to feel that weight dividing into the floor. It's like somebody's pulling your pelvis down into the floor, and you're allowing your legs to open. And from here we're going to roll off of our right heel and collect our feet. Let's do the same thing with the left foot. So we're going to divide as the right foot goes back. We're going to move off of the left heel and receive the weight in the right foot. So that's kind of how we're going to think about division. We're going to think dropping your weight, opening the legs, allowing yourself to take a nice step. When we go forward, that's going to be a heel lead. When we go back, that's going to be with our toe. The next action we want to practice, gentlemen, is working on our rib cage. We're going to think of 4 directions: diagonally right forward, diagonally left forward, diagonally right backward, and diagonally left backward. And we're going to practice swinging our rib up, 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 and up and back. So we'll practice forward, forward, back, back. We're going to go forward and return to neutral, forward, return to neutral, backward, return to neutral, and backward, return to neutral. When we do these rib swings, what we want to practice is that we swing upward and we're not dropping backwards. So we're not going collapse, collapse, but rather we're going up, collect, up, collect. You might even feel like it starts to rock you onto your toes or the balls of your feet as you start those swings. What we're going to do is take that into a step now. So we're going to start from a division, and at the bottom of your division, gentlemen, we will take the right side of your rib cage right now, and you're going to swing up and forward. And as we do that, we're going to swing our foot through, going to 2 toes, and then we'll collect. Let's try that on the other side. So we're going to do our right foot forward. So we're going to divide to the right foot. We're going to swing left rib cage forward. As we swing forward, we're going to rise onto 2 toes and collect our feet. So we're to use that swing action to create our rise in this stance. Let's try backwards. So we're going to divide back on the left. We're going to swing up and back to the right, swinging to your toes, and from here just collect to finish. Let's try the other side. Dividing back with the right foot this time. We're going to swing up and back in the left side of your rib cage. As we do that, that's going to cause us to rise onto our toes and collect our feet to finish. So gentlemen, take some time, practice a whole bunch of divisions. So what we would do is suggest that you go one side of the floor all the way to the other, practicing divide left, divide right, divide left, divide right, then go backward doing the same thing, divide left, divide right, divide left, divide right. Then do the same thing, practicing swing and collect, swing and collect, all the way down the floor, both forward and backward, and on your left and right feet, and that'll get you a good foundation for the rest of this DVD.
Ladies, let's get started with your technique. The first thing we're going to do is talk about your posture. So the first thing we want to think of is getting a neutral position of the knees so that they barely cover our toes. Then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to think of pulling in our center, and we're going to think of rolling our rib cage toward our pelvis. At the same time we do that, we're going to lengthen in the back of the neck. So we're rolling the front closed and lengthening the neck at the same time. That's going to give us a nice long spine. When we dance our waltz, we're going to dance in a position so that we're offset to the left of our man when we're looking at him. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that we're looking at a clock, and we send our hips toward 5 o'clock and our head toward 11. So I'm going to do that again. I stretch my entire spine diagonally where my head goes toward 11 o'clock. The other thing that's very beautiful about the waltz is there's a curved position that looks like it's away from the man. And the way that we're going to achieve that is by sending our chest forward toward the man. So again, if we were looking at a clock sideways, it would look like the chest was going up, so our head was at an 11 o'clock this direction. So if I combine the two, I have 11 o'clock and 11 o'clock. It's very important to remember to keep your tummy in when you send that chest forward, because if you don't, you're going to end up falling back and being very heavy to the man. Not to mention, it's going to give you a really sore neck and back. So a great way to practice this is by taking your hands, putting them on your center, making sure the center is in, and sending the chest forward from there. Next thing we're going to talk about is how we move through space. We're going to talk about leg division. So when we start, we're going to think of that inward position of the core, and we're just going to practice feeling that we move the core in and forward slightly just to help us shift through our feet. That's what we're going to use to help us get started. So I'm going to think of standing first on my right leg, pulling my core in and releasing that left leg forward by dropping the pelvis and pulling the center in. Now from here, my left leg's forward. I'm just going to think of dividing my legs. I just want to let gravity open my legs. Let's do that on both feet. So I'm pulling the center in, dropping the pelvis, and allowing gravity to open my legs. That's the way we get big strides forward and back. So when we go backwards, same thing. I'm just going to use my center to put that foot behind me. Then I'm going to drop my weight and divide my legs. It's a nice big step, but I want it to look like it's no effort at all. So I drop my weight, open the legs, and divide from there. Next thing we're going to do is talk about how to do the upward portion of the swing of the waltz. So we're going to then talk about the swing of the hips. First thing we're going to do is just take a side step to the right and feel we use the hip swing to pull our legs together and up. We'll do that again to the left. We go left and swing up, go right and swing up. Now let's combine that together. We're going to start with the left foot forward. We divide and we swing. We divide and we swing. It's a nice soft action. We want it to not look like we're pushing and really using too much muscle, but that we just use gravity and natural forces to help us move around. Well, that is how we move our bodies and how we stand. So let's get a partner and work together. Now that we have our partner with us, let's talk about how to get into dance hold.
So the first thing we have to do, gentlemen, is learn to invite the ladies in. So we're going to start facing each other, and the first thing I want to do is establish which foot I'm on. So I could point one foot to the side or relax one knee more than the other so that I'm showing the lady very clearly which leg I'm standing on. It's not my job to stand here and go, guess. All right, I want to make it very clear for the ladies. The second thing I'm going to do is invite her by offering my left hand in front of my body. She's going to accept my invitation by giving me her right hand. From here, I'm going to hollow my back. I'm going to allow the lady to come in, and you notice that when we line up, we're slightly offset. So the lady is slightly to the man's right side, or the other way to think about it, her right hip is lining up with the man's center line, my right hip is lining up with her center line. Once again, I invite by offering my hand. I bring the ladies in by opening my back and taking my left elbow back. You'll notice the back elbow is wide. Right hand is going to come around, picking up her shoulder blade. I'm going to turn this in a couple positions so you can see this. So gentlemen, we've picked up her shoulder blade. Notice the fingers are closed. We're not wide open in the hand. Nice cupped action on her shoulder blade. Left hand is closed. There's no stray fingers, right? We don't want any extra digits going on here. Nice cupped hand. I'm not squeezing her hand. I'm just gently holding it. If we look from one other angle, you'll notice at this point, gentlemen, the elbows are wide, spread apart, and very open. We're not relaxed and droopy in the elbows, creating a poor frame. We're very wide, open, and the back is stretched back and the front is hollowed out.
Ladies, let's take a look at our part while we get into the dance hold. The first thing that's going to happen is the gentleman invites us to dance. We're going to accept the invitation by giving him our right hand. We want to make sure at this point that we don't jump right in, but we just give him the hand so that he can tell us exactly where he wants us to go. As he starts to hollow out, I start stretching leftward with my hip to the right and my head slightly to the left, and then I continue to walk in, bringing my chest forward at this point. So I'm in a nice big position when I get into the frame. He touches my back, and I'm going to continue stretching up through my left shoulder blade. I keep that stretch there and then place my hand ready to dance.
Now, in this position we have to learn to walk. So we're going to just practice taking forward walking steps. You'll notice that the left foot, gentlemen, steps on the outside of the lady's right foot, and my right foot steps between her feet, or on the inside of her right foot. If we take that backwards, same thing. My right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. One thing that's important to notice is that our feet have to stay pretty parallel, right? Parallel this way, not turned out when we're doing this, because if we were to turn out, and we're going to exaggerate right now, with a lot of turnout, we'd start to run into each other's feet on almost every step. It's also going to put our knees in an odd place, and so when we start to take larger steps in division, we're going to really cause ourselves problems. So really practice keeping your feet parallel. And one more time, we invite the ladies in and just take some walking steps forward and backward to get used to moving with your partner. Well, with that, I think it's time to get started.